All right, welcome to the Franchise Time Machine. It's good to be back on live after, I think a week away. If anyone out there is not aware, I've been getting over some kidney stones, which are incredibly painful. And one of the things that happens is it's impossible to find a comfortable position to lay down or sit. And I've gone to the hospital for them twice before, and then this time around, I knew what was happening because it's happened twice, and I was like, okay, all they're gonna do is make me wait in the ER, and then they're gonna give me some, painkillers, and I'm just gonna have to wait for them to pass anyway. So I thought, okay, I'll just do it at home. I've got like ibuprofen and stuff. Two things wrong with that decision. The first is I severely underestimated, I think, the effectiveness of the medications they give you at the hospital, especially the painkillers. Um, and then also this time around, it seemed like there were several stones passing in sequence, and so it just went on for days. Um, also, one of the other medications they give you is that, like something that like dilates basically like the vessels through which the stone travels. So I could have used that. I could use the painkillers. Um, anyway, I'm almost 100% over them. As of this morning, I thought I was done. I can feel one again moving now, but it's definitely smaller because I can still function. But I was essentially on the couch, um, pretty much for like an entire week, just squirming around trying to find a comfortable position, which is again impossible. So I don't know how long I'll be able to go tonight. I'm gonna go as long as I can. Uh, Sitting in the chair was again not possible until this morning. Actually, doesn't feel too bad. So, um, but again, I can feel things moving. I can feel there's a little bit of pain coming my way. So we'll see how it goes. In order to minimize the disruption to the stream, hey, thanks, Max LP80. I appreciate it. You'll probably start hearing it if I if I start to feel like I'm not gonna be able to make it. But I do want to do an experiment. It's one that we've done before, but some conversations that were going on in chats and on streams the last couple. So I have been watching streams because it's one of the things that kind of kept my mind off the pain over the last week. It's just I would like be able to watch for 15 minutes and then like I'd finally fall asleep for like 5 minutes and then the pain would wake me back up. So I've been watching streams and seeing them in yeah, Clay Dog, I am back on tonight. I'm gonna see how long I can go before this latest kidney stone knocks me out. But so a lot of the stuff I saw was out of context. In fact, I didn't even know that there were pop-ups until I went to I've still been running all my regular tournaments because I just have to add them during the day, but I can just like load up the rosters like at one time. And so I just like kind of white knuckle it and try to get them done. But I was doing that and I noticed there were all these pop-ups. I was like, oh cool, but I had missed one. So I signed up for three. So I almost missed that. Um, but anyway, in watching the streams, I noticed there's still a lot of speculation about like, oh, which attribute is most important. I think in general it's pretty much accepted at this point that PBABIP seems less important in this. Oh, is my microphone a little low? Okay, let me see what I can do. Let's see. How's that? Is that a little better? I turned it up a little bit. About the same. Let's see what else I can do here. You can try moving a little closer to it too. Does that help at all? The only thing I've changed, well, I haven't done this in so long. I almost started the stream and started talking without a microphone at all. It was behind the screen because I'd put it away.
Why do you keep
Let's see.
following
This
me
is as high as
around?
it goes. I don't know that I can go much higher. Still sounds the same. Let's see if there's something I can tweak. Oh, look at this. Cool talent. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Let's see if I can get this a little louder somehow. Oh yeah, there's a little setting I can use here for my mic. Let's see, is there a way to boost it? Oh, there is a way to boost it. All right, how's that? Let me know if that gets too high at any point. Is that any better? Tonkbedo, thank you. I'm trying to adjust levels. Claydog let me know that it was a little quiet. Is this a little better? I boosted it by half a decibel. Decibels, by the way, are not linear. They're logarithmic. Still sounds the same. All right, let me try boosting it a full decibel. How's that? You know, it looks like I can push it a little more before I get to clipping. You know what? I'm boosting this and it doesn't seem like the peak level is changing much. You know, one of the things I did before I went on, it increased slightly, okay, but not a ton, is I updated my OBS version. So I wonder if that changed something. All right, cranking up the 3 decibels. Um, is anyone else having a hard time hearing me? Oh, Max, I saw you had gone live. I thought you were just setting up in case I started failing. Yes, yes, I'm playing on the first laptop ever made. It's running basic. And the cassette drive is a little slow. That is true. All right, I'll try to stay close to the microphone for Claydog too. Let's see if that helps. But if everyone ends up having a hard time hearing me, I will try to figure out something else. Booting OOTP from a floppy disk, yeah. So I wanted to revisit this experiment because I realized the first time we did this was back when we were still um, using team standings as the measure for how important an attribute was. And I think since then we've realized that other other things add a lot of noise to that, right? Because we're experimenting with starting pitcher, so the bullpen is still average. The run support is still average. There's just tons of RNG across an entire season. And so I thought it would be fun to revisit this experiment, um, partly applying some of the things we've learned about setting up experiments, right? I think some of the settings might also be different. Um, but then also, instead of using the standings to measure which attribute is most important, let's look at what we've been looking at, which is like whip and um, strikeouts per nine. And I did add an ERA as the third. And so we're going to do a 10 pack giveaway. I've already done the form. Um, again, I was nervous about running out of time, like my pain tolerance giving out before we could finish. So I tried to do some stuff in advance tonight. Clay Dogs in round 5 of the pop up, still kicking. Good job, congrats. What prize level are you at? If you don't want to look it up because you want to jinx it, I totally understand. I'm very superstitious. But I am curious to know because the grand prize is something crazy, right? Like 4 historical rainbow packs or 4 historical perfect packs or something. Never got Clay Dog. Never got past round two in a pop up before. This one is 3 goals and 4K. Oh, you get perfect points too. Nice, nice. Clay Dog checks all the time. Doesn't believe in the jinx. Yeah, I'm a big superstitious person. I do think people who play baseball tend to over-index in being superstitious too. Max in the semis for low silver. Awesome. You know what? Even though I was kind of out of commission, I actually had a couple good tournament days recently. Um, in fact, one of my alts, I was gonna say one late live iron and no live silver and late silver, or live iron and late iron. I think it's iron. Yeah, late iron and live iron in the same night. That was pretty cool. Clay Dog agrees. Baseball fans and superstition have huge crossover. Yeah, I was like, I would. I mean, mostly the obvious stuff, like no, Pedro Serrano was barely in his exaggeration. That was true tomato. Like mine was basic stuff. Like I would never step on the chalk lines coming off and on the field. Just stuff like that. But I did notice like it would bleed over into my normal life too. So here's the let me do the pack giveaway thing here. Link to form for tonight's 10 pack giveaway. You know what? I can tell the mic volume is up because I could never hear my keyboard before my headphones. Now I hear it pretty loudly. Wearing the same stock stirrups after good games. Yep, that's definitely true. Yeah, a lot of like not changing anything right after like a good game. That's definitely like a big thing. By the way, y'all, I can't tell you how much I appreciate after being gone for a week that y'all are still here and in the stream tonight. Um, by day 2 or 3, I started to feel like I miss streaming, but then what I realized is I miss like having a place to hang out with people and talking OTP and baseball. Um, so it's great to be back on. Oh, damn it. I forgot to open the form. All right. That's my return gift to Max. Oh yeah, the form is now open, everybody. No, it has been a week. I think it's like, been exactly a week. And I thought uh Clay Dog says a lonely couple late nights. Um so I use I went Max, I've gone a whole week without forgetting to turn the form on. Thanks, Tuckmater, you got my back. So I use Google Slides to make these title pages. And what I usually do, if it's like a related theme, I'll just copy one from before. But usually I just copy the most recent one and edit it. And the most recent one I had, here I can show you. The most recent one I had was this one. And I was like, there's no way this is the last stream I did. Because in my mind, this was like a long time ago. But it was. Like, I've been on the couch, basically in pain, since we did this stream. Um, so I think it's helpful usually when I go through the forum with y'all so you can didn't explain something well. I wonder which stream Talkmato's on. I would probably guess, I don't know, Talkmato, have you been haunting Ophi stream? Yes, that's true. I would comment when the pain would wake me up. I would roll over and see that like I'm still in Ophi's stream, and I would make some comment or ask for a ask for a tarot redemption, hoping for like relief. And then I was in Midnight Sumo one time, and there's an OOTP, or I think I'm gonna might get the letters wrong, but I think it's RCGG. And RCGG, like, in text that messages me, says, "Hey, what are you doing here?" Because I know they've never raided in with us. I don't think they've raided in with us, but like it was funny to just run into them there. Right, so here's today's again, and let me put the form up, and we'll go over it together. Uh, yeah, so I can't believe that creator roster with Smiley Face Jane was the last time I streamed. Claydog commented Oakley stream. I remember thinking, I wonder if franchise is up and watching this. And then you literally commented a second later. Yeah, yeah. Actually, I can't tell you how good that timing was that she had her 12-hour celebration, uh, follower celebration stream, because that was one of my roughest nights. And I just kept nodding off and then waking up in pain. But then, like, it would be into her stream. So it was like, it just kept me distracted. Oh. Okay, so here's what we're doing tonight. I did make a little bit of change in how we achieve the 550 stuff, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. Ooh, Max LP80 is going to be the next contestant in Creator roster. That is exciting. Max, thank you for the point redemption. So here's what we'll do, Max. I will send you a link to the Google spreadsheet, and you can enter in your positions by player tier. Oh, Claydog is going to be contestant number 4. Thank you, Claydog, for the point redemption. Frank Razor joined and disappeared multiple times through the 12-hour stream and kept seeing us on there. It is funny to me how a pixel artist embroidery stream has become like an unofficial OOTP side stream. I do really appreciate though that y'all are not obnoxious, and that like the last thing I would do is make it feel like a bunch of baseball people are taking over their stream. And I really appreciate that it still feels like Ophi stream. It's just I see people I know in there now. Because part of why I like being in there is I learn stuff about like a different part of the world, a different part of the internet that I never know about. Um, yeah, it just puts me in a good mood too, Tonkmato. I'm not sure why. Yeah. You know what I think it is? There's like nothing competitive about it. So everyone in there is just super chill and supportive of each other. And in the end, OTP, it's still about a game. So I do feel like people are still like somewhat competitive even in chat. Um, and then there's also still trolls. I think somehow she's managed to like eliminate the trolls from her stream too. So yeah, it's all positivity. That's right. There's no one ragging on, the game or ragging on content directors or ragging on each other. It's all just super positive. I agree. Yeah. No, for sure. It would be awful if I raided into somewhere and then I feel like I have to apologize to the people I brought in. So, yeah. But that's why I appreciate y'all are awesome in there. I also like that Tonkmato, the name Tonkmato is now just bandied about every once in a while when someone talks about like cool names, Tonkmado's name gets brought up. Uh, you know what, Claydon? I don't. I get the sense it's not so much hard moderation. I think it's just her, and also her chat just kind of self-policing. I also think there's a lot of self-selection. I don't know how many. I don't know how many like d bags are going to be going to an embroidery and pixel artist stream. Um, but it's the internet. There's d bags everywhere, so who knows. But I'm glad we're not contributing to that. I feel like we're good citizens in her stream. But like, there's all these things like this game she talks about all the time, Ace Attorney, which I haven't played yet, but now I'm dying to. It's like I never would have learned about that otherwise, and uh, and I legit enjoyed their readings of the My Immortal fanfic. It's amazing. I've watched that thing so many times now. Yeah, Tankmado, right? Even when the urge wells up, there's something about the energy in there that like just is like, nah, don't do it. You think this streamed what one time, Claydog? The fanfic? Oh, did you watch it? Um, oh, Ace Attorney. Oh, that's amazing. I wish I'd seen that then. Um, yeah, and then there's just like little, memey stuff that I guess I just wouldn't come across in other environments that just pop up in their environment all the time. Um, and it's all stuff that I could always look up, but it's just more fun to ask people. And her chat's super awesome at explaining stuff. Yeah, but whoever said positivity is true. It's like just a lot of positive energy in that channel. Yeah, so here we go. We're gonna have one team that's stuff, one team that's max raw movement, one team that's max P Babbitt, and one team that's maximum control. Oh, Mudang was on Fox News. So are you also in the same boat that you only know about Mudang because of Ophi's stream? I had never heard. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Ophi is my frame of reference for many things that I only know about through Ophi. Yes. So for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, I sometimes raid into. There are three big places I raid into if Max is not streaming that night. The first is seasonal. If there's a sumo tournament going on in Japan, I'll raid into Midnight Sumo. Actually, let me shout these people out as I go through them. Hey Dub, I am back on. How is the latest addition to the AW family? Okay, so Midnight Sumo is one. When there's a sumo tournament going on in Japan, I will almost always raid into this one. Um, it is Japanese sumo tournaments live or on replay with English commentary from a Canadian guy. Um, I speak Japanese, not super well, but like it even helps me hearing it in English, so it's super fun. Another one I raid into, and I think I have to wait for the cooldown, is Sensei Martian, who's this 30-year-old American expat who's been living in Japan for about a decade, and he's walking from the southern tip of Japan to the northern tip of Japan. Um, he's on one day 160 something today. He's about a week or two away from finishing. Um, and hey, W, there's a form for tonight's 10-pack giveaway too, so go ahead and fill that out. Um, I'd love to give away some packs tonight. Um, so there's him. He keeps up with chat while he's walking. He does the stream in English unless he's like ordering food or something in Japanese. He's like a real chill, interesting guy. So I like trying to support him. And then the third one is the one we've been talking about for the last 20 minutes. is Ophi and Stitch. Let me see if the cooldown's done. Let me see if we can give Ophi and Stitch. We'll come back to Sensei Martian in a bit here. 25 more seconds. So Ophi and Stitch. Ophi is a Palestinian 20 something woman living in Taiwan who is a pixel artist and does embroidery and cross stitching on stream. Um, but really, it's like I feel like that's just their excuse to be on and having a fun chat. Um, and so it's just super positive place to hang out. And yeah, and it's caught on with some of the folks in our late night crew who I've raided into there with before. So all right, let's see if we can do some shout outs here. Sensei. I think Sensei. Let me double check. I think Sensei Martian is with an underscore. Yeah, and then we'll shout out Ophi and Stitch in a little bit after the next cooldown. Um, yeah. So I did slightly change the way we got to the 550 stuff. I was trying to find ways that help me increase stuff without affecting movement or control or PBABIP. And so the easiest way that I found to do it was to boost velocity to 100 plus, increase the fastball to 550, and increase the curveball to 450. It had a little bit of effect on raw movement, but as minimal as any of the other ways I could find to boost stuff. Clay Dog made a Sensei Martian joke on Nasbase's stream, and no one gets that. That's true. That is true. Um, yeah, every once in a while something will come up and I'll like start to type in like a Ophi reference and I'm like, oh, no one's gonna get this. Uh so Tomato, I think that might be true about D Block, but I think his first exposure to it was with us. Um so I think that's still part of our raid. One of his pawns walked 2 hours to get his mail. That's amazing. That's funny. I always refer to that. There's that one guy in his chat I always refer to as the. I wish I should just look up his actual name in the Matrix, but he's always like, okay, in 10 meters you're gonna turn right, and then there'll be a phone booth there, and I'm like, that's the kind of stuff they say in the Matrix. Like, okay, in 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 10 seconds, wait for the truck to go by, and then cross the road. All right, let's see. I think other than that, all these settings are the whatever we've been using lately. There might be some changes from the last time we did this. Um, but yeah, we've learned a ton since we did this experiment last. One of the biggest things we've learned is to not just use the team standings anymore, but really just look at the pitching stats. The team standings are there more for fun. I think in this one too, it'll be fun looking at the achievements because we may have a bunch of 15 strikeout games, have no hitters. A does too as one of our OTP streams. I heard Matrix was thinking first about the laptop hound thing. That is so true, A Dub. I forgot about that. That is so true though. Time says the three streams I live in this one, Ophi and Naspace with some PVs sometimes in between. And I don't know, I feel like this stream and Ophi stream, at least in my brain, run together a lot. So there was a great moment where I think she was trying to get me to like because I wouldn't say a lot about like what our stream was because I feel like if you don't play OTP, it's super boring. And she had said like, "Oh, if you send me some of your baseball statistics, I will pretend to look at them and understand them." So I did, and it was funny. Like on the in her stream, she did pretend to look at them, like rubbing her chin. Go, I see. So she's a good sport. All right. So the first question is going to be. this is kind of a gimme, I think. Right? I think we'll all have the same answer, but who knows? Which team? And when I say team, it's always going to be. Like I said, that's almost every woman I've ever known. That's amazing. Um, for me, it's a lot of my guy friends too. They'll like, I'm sure, like I go to my kids' soccer games. I was probably talking about like Otani's 6 for 6 day, and other people are just like nodding their heads, and I'm like in hindsight, like they have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like 17 total bases, and there was that amazing fact that like all those things, like 6 hits in a game, 3 home runs, two multiple stolen bases, 17 total, like no one's ever done those things in a career, and he did it in one day, and like I can't believe it. It's amazing to me, and everyone else is just like, is that good? Yeah, it's glad exactly. Iconic baseball only matters to baseball fans. Yes. Claydock had the same combo with his dad and had no hype at all. Yeah. I think it's good though, Clay Dog, that we have that self awareness at least, so we know when to pull back. Like I'm in a chat with my dad and some of my cousins in Japan, and I was like, "Oh, did you see like Otani went 50-50?" And like, "Oh yeah, we saw it." But like in the way they're answering, I was like, "Yeah, they're gonna have no interest in me going into my he did in one game what no one's done in a career thing." So I just like let it go. Kitty Poo Poo, welcome. Thank you for being here. Ah, yeah, I appreciate all of you being here tonight. I was wondering after a week away if anyone would show up, so I appreciate every one of you being here tonight. Kitty Poo Poo, we're going over the form for the 10 pack giveaway. So, oh, Kitty Poo Poo, are you in the Path of the Storm? Oh, congrats on the R.D. Wilson. Pouring down rain, but safe rain. You're in Atlanta? Okay. Oh, I used to, well, I went to Georgia Tech. I used to live in Atlanta. In fact, I saw on Twitter, because it's on Twitter, I don't know if it's actually real or not, but someone posted a picture of a boarded up Waffle House. And I was like, boarded up because, supposedly because of the hurricane. And I was like, that is legit one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen. Because I've never seen a boarded up Waffle House because of a storm coming. If I were there and saw that, I would be like, I need to get out of here right away. Wow, that's man, that's gotta be strong for it to still be a hurricane that far inland hitting Atlanta. I mean, I hope that ends up not being the case, but Max says I barely see people awake in my streams. D-Lock, good morning. Thank you for being here. D-Lock, we were just talking about people now who uh appear in Ofi's stream now, independent of raids. I think your name came up. Adub and Kitty have been in the same places at one point. Oh, it seems like it could be true. Atlanta is like a big city, but it doesn't feel like a big city when you're there. I mean, maybe it's because I was there in college and like you feel like you always run into people, but just need to get yourself a kidney stone. 5 days later, people appreciate you much more. All right. Good timing, D Block and Kitty. We're just going over the form for the contest tonight so you can win some packs. Um, so which team? I'll combine AL and NL to reduce the noise. Will have the highest strikeout per nine. Which team combined AL and NL will have the lowest WHIP? Oh yeah, D Block. I mentioned you in that we were talking about people who we now see in Ophi and Stitch stream without a raid. So I'll just be in there, or you know, Tugmate or Claydog will be in there in Ophi stream, and then just see another one of us in there, even though we didn't raid in together. Oh wait, Ada was talking about Savannah. I just need to see what's going on here. I thought I saw someone mention Augusta too. Let me see. Oh, Tugmate doesn't like Atlanta but loves Augusta. And AW is convinced his wife will retire Savannah. It's Savannah that's the midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, right? AW. And then which team will have the lowest ERA? CD block? I do sometimes reference ERA. We're gonna have an ERA question here. And you weren't even here when I wrote this question. Oh, there's a there's a novel called Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil that's based on a real event, I think. And then it was made into a movie. And I think it took place in Savannah. So like when I was living in Georgia, it was like a big deal because it was like so Georgia specific. Um, that was a good book. I mean, I'm not good enough that I remember it this many years later, but I remember like enjoying the read. All right, this one's a weird question. This is one of the reasons I want to go over it. If the NL and AL Cy Young Award winners are from the same team, which team will it be? If they're not from the same team, we'll skip this question. So if you get it wrong, it won't matter. If they're not from the same team, this question will get skipped. And then the last two tiebreakers will go with numerical ones so that we can actually break a tie. The strikeouts per nine in the pitcher who leads all leagues in strikeouts per nine, and then the whip of the pitcher who leads all leagues in whip. So those will be the last two. Yes, thank you, Clay Dogs. The story of Jim Williams, an antiques dealer on trial for killing of Danny Hansford. It is a nonfiction novel. Got it. I was close. Yeah. Wow, New York Times bestseller for 216 weeks following its debut. That's awesome. But yeah, it was so steeped in Savannah that I remember it just being like a huge deal across Georgia in particular. And even in Atlanta, it was like a huge deal. You know, Atlanta's going to claim Augusta, Savannah, anything pretty much. All right, so let's go to the sim. Let me go up to the base game. But I thought of a fun experiment I want to do. We've got a couple of creator rosters we're going to do first. Actually, do I have to write that down, or is it recorded in my? I think it should be recorded in. All right, it's probably recorded somewhere, but I'm going to go back and chat and make sure I. So I know Clay Dog. Wait, let me see. Okay, Max and Clay Dog. I'm writing that down. I still use pen and paper sometimes. Oh, but I can't find my pen. I literally have not sat in this chair in a week. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna take a picture of the screen. I'm sure it's somewhere in Twitch that I can find it again, but no, Clay Dog. Yeah, no, no. We have to work out scheduling anyway, because I have to make sure you're gonna be available. So I'll work it out with you and Max. But yeah, I wasn't saying, oh no, I have to do this. I'm happy to do it. I'm excited to do it. Um, oh, that's right, Clay Dog. I could use Notepad again. That's true. Here's why I use pen and paper though instead of Notepad. I have so many things on Notepad, I can't find anything in it again. So these are important, so I have to be able to find them. um, but one of the experiments I want to do is I keep hearing, and I don't doubt anything that comes from like Mr. Black, because it does seem like he does either experiments or analytics to support his assertions. Um, and I've actually been believing it and using it. It does not seem to be kind of coming back to bite me, but I believe he's if it's not him, he's cited as a source for this a lot. That if you boost the sliders for intentional walking and pitching around, that the game is good at knowing when to use those things. Now that puts a lot of faith in the AI, and I think we all have terrible experiences with AI in tournaments and stuff, just like screwing over stuff we're trying to do. And so I've been like, is that really true? That seems to be like a lot of faith in a thing that we all tend to mock for not being that great. I mean, I even have an emote about how bad the AI is sometimes. So A-Dub says AI definitely makes you lose all tournaments. So what I want to do is um for each team in the league, give them a 550 power player, right? So every player in the league is average, except each team has one beyond Barry Bonds power hitter. And so if you're going to intentionally walk somebody, there's really only one person it makes sense to walk. It's that one power hitter on the other team. It would make no sense to walk an average player if there's another average player coming up next. It's also the only exception might be if you're in a jam, you have one out, first base is open, you walk somebody to create a force play so you can get a double play to end the inning. That's the only other reason I can think of. And same with pitching around. There's no reason to pitch around an average player if there's another average player coming up next. The only player it makes sense to pitch around is the 550 power hitter. And so I think we do that, and then we set some teams to max pitch around. Some teams we have everyone's right-handed D block. There's no lefty-righty matchup either. So it's literally, I think, the only reason to walk somebody. Average infielder 4, he's walking. That's true. Average infielder 4 is a stud among the average. Clay Dog says, I do think the AI is deeper for some things, and pitch around I've heard turning up higher or lower, it doesn't seem ridiculous. But then again, sample, yeah. But I also think, like, even when we think AI is decent at some things, how much of that is based on data versus just like gut or small sample size? Tomato says, man amongst men. That's amazing. That is amazing. If there's ever an average infielder for a t-shirt, that should be the tagline, man amongst men. Yeah, Clay Dog. I mean, you would think that's how it works, right? But again, I'm a bit of a skeptic until we test it. I'm not really sure that's going to be the case. Um, but if that's true, right? If there's only one player on the other team that's worth walking or pitching around, then they're the only person who should get intentional walks. And so I think one of the questions will be, will anyone else get an intentional walk in that league? Uh, I'd be really curious to see that because if anyone else doesn't get an intentional walk, then I question the wisdom of trusting the AI with a high intentional walk slider. Pitch around is not an intentional walk, but I'm wondering if the high pitch around team ends up with more walks in general. Now, I don't think you should have a statistically significant greater amount of walks if you're only pitching around that big power hitter. But if the AI is not being smart and is pitching around average players, then you might see more walking. And so that's kind of, there's a bunch of stuff I want to test in that one experiment. Um, but it's a bit of a longer build, and I didn't want to say do it today because I don't know how long my pain tolerance is going to hold on tonight. But y'all are making me laugh, which is a big help. So it's been helping me ignore the discomfort. So I actually thought this morning, I thought I was out of the woods. I thought I was done with the kidney stones. I've got to where I can feel where the pain is and know like how far away a stone is from passing. And sorry if this is TMI, but as soon as the pain is like a sleeve of pain around my right thigh, I know that stone's almost gone. And so last night I had that, and then after that I didn't have any more pain in my back, which is like where the next stone starts. And this morning I didn't have any more pain in my back, and I thought, oh, I think I passed the last one. I think we're good. But then like around midday, right? So I started working again. I started doing chores again, and then around midday I started feeling another pain in my back. But it's been lesser, but it's still following the same path, but it hurts a lot less. So I've been able to like sit down enough to stream. I've been able to kind of ignore it so far tonight, although you can't see me squirming, trying to find like a comfortable position. But so hopefully this is either the last one or the other ones will be progressively smaller and less painful. But anyway, I didn't want to do a more in-depth experiment when I might have to like suddenly bail because like it gets too painful. But this one was already pretty much set up. Um, I just adjusted a few things. One of the things is this is before we knew that it was important to change the name of the change the abbreviation and the city because depending on what screen you're looking at, right, you don't always see um, the nickname. So we'll change this to stuff, and this will be average league stuff. This is movement. This is average league. Oh yeah, it'll let you. Sorry, it'll let you do 4 letters. I forgot. Oh no, Clay Dog down 4-2 in the pop up. Is it best of 9? All right. Well, here's to Clay Dog going 3-0 the rest of the way here. We're gonna call PBAB just PB, and then control, and then this is again stuff and stuff for neutral league movement. Yeah, hey Clay Dog. I wouldn't think of it as your time being limited. I would think of it as like you made a really deep run in a big tournament, man. And it's still going on, so let's not throw dirt on it yet. And Clay Dog and Max LP80, again, thank you for redeeming those points for to play creator roster. I hope you haven't been waiting all week to redeem those. I feel bad that you might have been like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this," and then like every night you're like, "Wait, I was gonna redeem points tonight, but he's not online." So I'm glad you're interested enough to play those games. It's a it's a good affirmation that we're doing fun stuff on here. You literally just got your 12.5 point tonight. That's awesome. Hey, I told you, right? I have a solution for the oh, AW's on here too. I have a solution for the Caldwell versus Hess thing. Yeah, so I will what I need to do is start a three-way chat with both of you in Discord to figure out a night to do it and to explain to you my methodology to see if you both agree. So I'll figure out how to do a three-way conversation in Discord and we'll start that. I'm actually excited to see what happens in that. Also, what was it? Someone asked me, I think, if I would ever want to do a tournament, like how they have like EVC as a tournament and stuff. No, it is true. It'll be hard time to find a time with AW for sure. Um, but actually, with some of the changes going on to the people's schedules too, I just thought we could maybe find a daytime spot also. That's a possibility. Good thing Bold Egg is here. You would take the three-way conversation out of context again. Yes, for sure. um, this is interesting. I didn't realize they're going to become the Stew Braves. Oh, I know why. It's because we put it in the title. It's in the nickname and the abbreviation and the title. Okay, so I built this on the old Quick Start. So I just want to make sure that we haven't changed things since we did this one. So coaching was off back then. That's good. Injury suspension is off. Player development is off. Okay, we knew more than we thought, or more than I thought we knew at the time. This is good. We just didn't lock this in. We didn't uncheck this. That's fine though. That's a pretty minor difference. Although in the average league, it is actually pretty important. So, all right, this is good. And then let's save this quick start in case we want to repeat it. Update to reflect. Just made updated modifiers and team, cities, and abbreviations. Okay. Okay. And then thanks to D Block again for making me feel less crazy in letting me know that D Block also has found that these return despite saving them in quick starts. So I don't know if that's a bug or they mean it to be a feature, but it feels like a bug to me. Like to me, a quick start should just put your entire league as is across the board in amber and let you like bring it back out whenever you want to. You shouldn't have to do anything differently when you revive a quick start. It should just be like boom, right where you left it. All right. So more than ever, I need this 3 minute break before we start the sim. I'm gonna go get some more water. I do need to make a BIOS break, and I don't want ads interrupting our sim. So you think a quick start should have a quick start? That's so absurd, says Claydog. That's amazing. All right. This is your 3 minute warning to anyone who would like to enter the 10 pack giveaway but hasn't submitted their form yet. You have 3 minutes, and then when we come back, I will close and we will look at what people have submitted. All right, I think we're back. All right, Clay Dog. I'm glad you got your form in. Good luck on your draft. Um, I if you lose on the first question, I think we need to have a conversation about whether you're learning what you should be learning on this stream or not. I know you're just kidding though. Yeah, good luck in your draft. Thanks for being here tonight. It was great seeing you. Max and Clay Dog, I realized what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a form from now on so that I can send each contestant a form. Then you can fill it out and send it in. You don't have to mess with the Google Sheet. And I actually think it'll be more user friendly too. So I'm going to create that form tonight or tomorrow, and then I'll send it to you in Discord. And that way we don't have to sequence who gets, because I don't like to give access to that form one person at a time. This way you can just do it whenever. Um, so this way it's not like give Max access first, but then he doesn't go first. Claydog's going to go first, but then Max has the access. I'll just do a form. I think it'll be easier, and then I can just use that form over and over. Um, all right, so let's close the form. Well, I'm going to take a bit. I'm going to take some ibuprofen here real quick. I am starting to feel a little bit of the pain here, so this is probably good timing that we're getting to the sim already. All right, let me close the form. If anyone objects, please let me know in chat real quick before I close it. I'm about to close it. You all have a chance too, because Smiley Face Jane has not entered tonight. All right, let me generate the sheet. Smiley Face Jane, like literally winning everything I see, whether it's like trivia, laps trivia, or pack draws, or what was it, number one in weekly draft or something, top 10 in other draft, other PTCSs, winning tournaments. It's amazing. When someone wins that much stuff, I gotta think it's not luck, right? There's something there. All right, let's see here. Here's what we have. All right. So which team combined AL and NL will have the will lead the league in strikeouts per nine? Everyone said team stuff, which I would also have put. Second, which will have the lowest whip? This is interesting. Two for movement, three for control. I'm surprised no one put BABIP. ERA. Got a lot here. Two control, two BABIP, and a stuff. And then if the NL and Cy Young Award winners come from the same team, which team will they come from? And everyone went with their ERA team except the person who went with Team Stuff instead of Team BABIP as their ERA team. So that's interesting. We'll save the numerical answers till we do the pack giveaway. So with that as background, let's go ahead and start the sim. Oh no, I did not want to configure that. All right, let's see what happens here. As usual, we get a little a two-game preview. And again, the standings now are not material at all to the pack giveaway or to how we're going to interpret the results, but they're just fun. So we're gonna keep doing this. Holy cow! Team Stuff running away with it. A 10K streak by average starter six. I wonder what team they're from. And Team Babip in the NL leading by 2 games. So leading, but not really. Interestingly, Team Stuff is in the top 2 in both leagues. Control is at the bottom of both leagues. All right, let's do the month of May. Team Stuff still going strong in the AL. And in the NL, P Babip. Control still the cellar dwellers in both leagues. Team Stuff 9 games ahead in the AL. PBAB at 4 games ahead in the NL. Team Stuff still in the top 2 here, 10 games ahead of the third place team. So Stuff doing well in both. Control 20 games behind and 26 games behind in both. All right, let's go to the All-Star break. Uh, Stuff is now only, well, we have to play one more game, finish today. All right, Stuff is in a tie for first in the NL, and Stuff is 10 games ahead in the AL. Actually, it's Stuff and PBAB on the top in both. That's interesting. We did not have that kind of similarity last time we did this. So, all right, let's check out the home run challenge. There's average infielder 4 from the movement team. The infielders, look at this, dominating the home run challenge. You know, when you have a generational talent like average infielder 4, it just inspires a whole generation of infielders to, or maybe, you know, I don't know if he's inspiring them to do better or just inspiring better talent into the infield because of his trailblazing. All right, let's finish the round. Oh, and he's knocked out by average infielder 2. 13-8, no less. 16-11, 13-8, 13-10. Some big performances here. Another big performance, 15-12 and 15-10. Average infielder 6 and 2. They've combined hit 28 home runs each in this tournament. That's the most I think we've seen from the average league. Now, one thing you'll notice is their All-Star break home run totals are very low compared to a lot of simulations we do here. And I think it's because they're all facing pitchers that are god level in something, right? Every day they're facing a starting pitcher that's god level in something. So these average home runs are down. Even for the average league, they're down. Average infielder 2 takes it 16-15. This is one of the biggest home run challenges we've seen. All right. From the movement team. All right, let's go to the All-Star game. Oh, wait, we forgot to look at the ridiculous choices the AI makes for the All-Star team. Three Stuff and 2 PBAB. 7-3, 193 strikeouts the All-Star break. 9-3, 190 strikeouts, 1.96 ERA. 5-4 again, 5-4 with a 2.40. I don't necessarily know why that one makes it. 8-7 with a 2.49. 10-5 with a 2.43. Yeah. All right, then let's look at in the NL. You've got a lot more variety here. You've got, so yeah, if you look at the AL, It's all stuff in PBABIP. If you look at the NL, it's PBABIP stuff, movement, control. PBABIP 6 and 7, 2.12. 9 and 5, 1.42 for stuff. 1 and 9 with 3 saves. What is going on, AI? You've heard me complain about the AI's voting for All-Star choices, but this is one of the more ridiculous. Starting pitcher, this guy's clearly in the bullpen. Or are they used in both? Are they swinging? Oh, 22 games, 14 started. Interesting. And 3 saves. Still, you're 1 and 9 All-Star. Average starter 5 from the movement team. That's ridiculous, AI. And then control 5 and 10 with a 4.13. Check out the strikeout to walk ratio, though. 4 walks, 110 strikeouts. I'm impressed with average stuff. This guy's got 110 strikeouts. The 4 walks is amazing, though. Wow. All right. And then let's see who actually got chosen to the squad here. 7 and 6, 227. The whip is good, though, 0.78. Marbeck. Hola. Buenos dias. We are doing an experiment right now on which pitcher attribute is the most important in terms of pitcher performance. This guy belongs 9 and 3, 1.96. 13 and 4. The ERA is a bit high, but the whip is good. All these for the starters, can't argue with those. Those are pretty good. I think it's down here that the issue is, right? Not too bad. 15.1 strikeouts per nine, 15.5 strikeouts per nine. Okay, so the good thing is the control pitcher got votes but did not get selected. So at least the AI is doing a good job on the selection process. All right, so let's just see what happens in this All-Star game. Yeah, even with all these pitchers, like because they're just the starters, right? And they're only going to pitch about an inning each. The bullpens can still, the average bullpens end up blowing it, including 4 in the top of the ninth. And it was one of the non-starters, right? So they don't have that. They don't have the. Oh wait, how does this guy have 95 stuff? That should not be. Oh, was it not just the starters? Oh, I gave everyone the thing. Whatever the thing is, I gave everyone the thing. So it's not just the starters, y'all. It's the relievers too. One of the dangers of reviving an old quick start. Hopefully, that will not have influenced anyone else's guesses, but I apologize if it did. The good thing though is it takes some of the more noise out because we don't have to worry about average bullpens throwing a wrench in the works here. All right, let's do the next month. Now for the relievers, I did go by reliever stuff, not starter stuff, which would then lead to an even higher reliever stuff. So it is still relatively level playing field with the other attributes as far as that 550 goes. Okay, PBAP is pulled a little bit ahead of stuff in the NL. In the AL, stuff continues to remain in the lead. We are definitely though seeing it's a two-tiered system here with stuff and PBAP. Now this is interesting though because I think if you had asked anybody playing Perfect Team, they would have probably said PBAP is going to be the least important, right? And control and movement would be the most important. But so I wonder what's going on with that. So stuff is edged a half game ahead in the NL and is still 11 games ahead in the AL. I wonder if it's because we're going like to 550 at that extreme. Maybe PBAP starts to matter again. I don't know. It is interesting though. And I think very early in the cycle, it was all control, right? Before people realized HRA was a big deal. I think it was like people were just starting mostly on control. All right, with one game left, we have Stuff 4 games ahead of PBABIP in the NL, and Stuff 6 games ahead. Oh, Movement has jumped into second place. So Home Run Suppression has moved into second place in the AL. Interesting. All right. Clay Dog only started a couple months ago with the HRI bandwagon. Has been moving more towards control from that. So how have your results like noticeably improved or changed since you started shifting? Um, let's do the postseason so we get to the awards because one of the questions is about awards, and then we'll do the stats. So the final standings. Let me get a screenshot of this. The final standings are Stuff wins the NL by 4 games, and Stuff wins the AL by 7 games. And there's definitely a split between the top two and the rest of the league in the AL. There's less of a clear split there in the AL, in the NL. There's less of a clear split in the AL. Togmado, thank you for the subscription. Greatly appreciated. Thank you so much, Togmado. Divock says, let me put it this way. I don't see 15 to 10 games regularly in base game other than in Perfect Team. I really do believe that Perfect Team is a different version of the sim engine. Leaves the comeback man out in the base game. So D Block, I do know that there are two different versions of the sim engine that's been confirmed by OOTP, but they have also said that they're based on the same principles. I would also not be surprised if whatever changes from season to season, the change is more pronounced in Perfect Team because I don't think you want to play with the base game engine that much. Uh, and frankly, it's probably more entertaining for people if there are more changes from season to season uh, in the Perfect Team. D Block also subscribed. Thank you so much, D Block. Man, you guys, I, I don't think you can fathom how crazy it is to me that people subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. You're playing all-star teams every game in Perfect Team, though. Yes, that is true. I've never seen a hype train here. I don't even know what it does. It looks cool though. Yeah, but deep Clay Dog subscribing. Thank you so much with Prime. Man, you guys are awesome. Kitty Poo, holy cow. Man, you guys don't understand how much this means, especially After having felt so crappy for a whole week, to come back to this is awesome. Thank you so much. Man, and to think I was worried no one was going to show up tonight because I've been away for so long. Y'all are awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, you might were worried I might still die in the next couple of days. No, trust me, there were times I was just like, oh, please just take me now. Oh, it was pretty bad. Next time I am going back to the hospital for sure. It was just not worth it to try to tough it out. Whew. But yeah, seriously, I appreciate it so much. This is fantastic, everybody. Thank you. All right, let's do the postseason. Yeah, going back to the hospital next time is a good call. Yes, yes. All right, we've got two stuffed teams in the playoffs, and a P-Vapor team and a movement team. Again, this is small sample size within a small sample size, but we just like to see what happens here. And the stuffed teams get knocked out. Again, small sample sizes and small sample size. Oh, D Block, I've been passing kidney stones for the past week. So we were joking about they're not life threatening by any means, but they are super painful. I've had them twice before. I went to the hospital twice before. And frankly, I spent more time waiting than I spent getting treated. So I thought, well, here was my logic, D Block. The last two times I went, I waited in the waiting room so long, and it's even more uncomfortable than waiting than like being in my bed or on my couch. So I thought, by the time I get seen, this thing might have passed. So I was taking ibuprofen and muscle relaxants and drinking tons of water. Well, unfortunately, I underestimated how good the drugs are. And yeah, no, we don't. Yeah, we definitely don't want me passing a stone on stream. um, so yeah, I will not make that mistake again. Next time we are definitely going to the. Uh, I guess the issue is here in the U.S. like um like an urgent care won't give me a prescription for the stuff I need to break down the stone or to dilate the pathways uh or to kill the pain. But then that only leaves the emergency room as the other option, which is if you go at the wrong time, it's a long wait, it's super expensive, and there's no like middle ground option. Like I know it's a kidney stone. I've gone through this. This is now the third time. Um, and I partly because I think pain medications are involved, I don't think they can just take my word for it. And so it just ends up being like either super expensive or, you tough it out. Um, and on the expensive part, I shouldn't even worried about it because we've already hit our deductible because we had a kid with a broken arm earlier in the year. So yeah, Clay Dog, imagine the easy, cheap options give you the relief and help you need. That's right. God bless the USA and our medical system for sure. Um, Now, don't get me wrong. If I were like super sick with something or, had like a rare form of cancer or something, I mean, I can't think of another country I'd rather be treated than here. But for like everyday stuff, like the people I know in Canada or my relatives in Japan, they just get such better, cheaper care for like all the in between stuff. Yeah, maybe take a vacation to Canada and suddenly I have pain. That's right. Oh man. All right, let's watch this World Series here. Clay Dog recently had a big medical scare and toughed out because don't have insurance. Oh yeah, that's tough. No, Clay Dog, at least I was making the choice with insurance. Like I can't imagine how frightening that would have been. What is a hype chest? I'm gonna open this hype chest. What is a hype chest? Oh, we get an emote. All right, we got this emote. Do we all get this emote now? I don't even know how that works. It is kind of a cute dog. Yeah, clay dog. I mean, and you know what? When you're sick, adding that level of stress cannot be good for you. Oh, I guess we all get it. Awesome, kitty poo poo. So, clay dog, you said scared. Does that mean it's passed and did not turn into anything bigger? Yeah, wrecked your mental health for a while. No kidding. You've gotten better. Oh, good. I'm glad, clay dog. Yeah. Uh, especially if you don't have insurance, this system we have is terrifying. I mean, are there any other countries in the world where you can go bankrupt from getting sick? Maybe there are. I just know it doesn't happen in Japan. And oh, what is that? Is that another one we got? No, says D Block. Very simple answer. No. And the movement. Okay, so the HRA crowd wins the World Series at least. Our season score for this year is 1. I'm gonna screenshot this. Let's see. What team am I running? What team does it think I'm running? Even Africa people don't go bankrupt. Yeah, it's a crazy system we have. I think it's a great system if you have insurance and or you have money, but otherwise it's brutal. Okay. We need to go to a postseason awards. That's a big part of our uh well, not a big part, but it's one of the tiebreakers. So we need to find out what's going on here. All right, great glove awards. These will all just be average players. Now there's no reason. Oh, maybe there's a lot of stuff players because they don't make a lot of plays, so they don't make a lot of errors. I don't know. It's a great system with privilege. Yes, that is literally is the US for almost everything, I would say, Clay Dog. Uh Healthcare and education included. This is what I was expecting, like a pretty even mix, right? I can't think of any reason specifically that like one team would have an advantage in fielding over others just because of their pitching. Um, so that makes sense. All right, reliever of the year. These will all be battled out among starters who are in the bullpen. Among everything else, let alone trying to hold down a normal job as an immigrant thesis. Yeah. All these are probably converted starters, right? Oh no, it doesn't have to be because we gave everyone the benefit this time. So three of the 6 winners are stuffed pitchers, though. That's interesting. And 3 of the 5 are stuffed pitchers in the NL2. All right. Platinum Stick Awards. Now these might give you a hint because if you're on the best pitching team, you have a better chance of winning the Platinum Stick Award because you don't have to face the best pitchers. But this does seem to be a pretty good mix. Of 11, 1, 2, PBABIP has 3. Control. Yeah, it's a pretty even mix. Yeah, nothing really jumping out at me here. Okay, rookie of the year. I don't think anyone's eligible, right? Yeah. All right, here's the first big. Well, this is the big one, Cy Young Award. Okay, the AL Cy Young Award is from the stuff team. In fact, the top five are from the stuff team. And the NL Cy Young Award, the top three are from the stuff team. All right, so the stuff team, and actually five of the top seven are from the stuff team. All right, so for the Cy Young Award question, it is definitely the stuff team. And let's just see what the MVP holds. Average infielder two having a season here. From the stuff team. Now that could be coincidence, but let's see what happens here. MVP with a 240 average and 9 home runs. Yeah, in the NL, it is a P Babbitt player, average infielder two, with a 246 average and 13 home runs. All right, so let's see what the stats are here. So these are average is about the same, kind of maybe a few points down from when we do these average experiments. Home runs are down a little bit. Strikeouts are probably going to be way up. Yeah, 190. Well, for average league, that is high. All right, let's look at the pitching leaders. Well, let's look at team pitching stats. Okay, I'm going to start building the pivot table here. So y'all take a look at these and let me know if you notice stuff while I put the pivot table together. Yeah, stuff for sure. Also, the super low amount of walks on the control team definitely stand out. All right, let's see. What do I need? I need whips. So I need innings, hits allowed, walks, and then I need ERA. So I need earned runs. And then I need strikeouts per nine. So I need strikeouts. There are probably less brute force ways to do this, but I'm just going to type them in. All right, earned runs. Why did I do that in that order? Earned runs. Wow, big jump in earned runs for the control team. Earned runs for the stuff team or within 1 run of each other? I'll share this sheet as soon as I put it together and then we'll pivot it. and then we'll see what we got. It's crazy. The stuff team actually allowed fewer hits than the PBABIP team. It is insane though how few walks you give away when you have 550 control. Also interesting is how close all the strikeout numbers are if you don't have crazy stuff. I mean, I know we've been told that like stuff is what determines strikeouts, but it is really stark to see it here with if it doesn't matter how high, how good your PBAP is, how good your movement is, how good your control is, you're not getting more strikeouts unless you have stuff. All right, let me share this with you now. Hold on, let me label it episode 115. For some reason, OBS does not want to find this. Ah, there it goes. All right, there we are. All right, sorry about that. Found it. Okay. So here's what it looks like simplified. Now we're going to pivot it. Sorry, I'm used to doing this in Excel, so I'm not as handy in Google Sheets. Still don't. Still mad I don't use pivot tables for formulas? Yeah. Innings pitched, earned runs, hits, walks, strikeouts. All right, so just to maintain legibility, I'll go down here. All right, let's do whip. No, what order did I ask them in? Um, we'll just go whip, ERA, strikeouts per nine equals sum of these divided by these. ERA equals these divided by these times 9. Strikeouts per 9 equals these divided by these times 9. All right. Now, whip usually reported with 2 decimals. Or is it 3 decimals? Now, why can't I think of it now? ERA was 2 decimals. Strikeouts per 9 is usually 1 decimal. Okay. It's interesting that Duff has the best whip, which is kind of contrary to some of the other stuff we've seen where, and also kind of what we've been told, right? That I guess my understanding had been that stuff is whatever outs you get, stuff determines how many of those come from strikeouts. But this is saying stuff is actually also helping increase the amount of outs you're getting, which is interesting. Now, HRA, I get the HRA wouldn't, well, raw movement. Again, we should distinguish. This is raw movement, not HRA. But it is interesting that raw movement, I would not have been surprised if raw movement didn't help your whip, but improved your ERA because you're having fewer. Oh, that makes sense, A-Dub. Fewer balls. Okay, but I guess this is disproving something I had been told previously, though, A-Dub, which is the game determines whether you get an out or not, and then stuff determines how many of those come from strikeouts. But what you're saying, what the data is saying is, no, strikeouts are a calculation that comes somewhere but before the out or not out calculation happens. Otherwise, it should not have an effect on whip, but it does. Certainly, if raw movement mostly helps with HRA, I'm surprised that the whip is so much worse because I would have thought it's just, your whip is similar, but you just have fewer or more home runs allowed, which would impact your ERA, but not necessarily your whip. But it is impacting your whip. A-Dub thinks it's walk or not, then ball and play or strikeout. That would kind of make sense based on what we're seeing here. Where in that hierarchy do you think home run is then, A-Dub? But if we're walk or not first, then I would have thought control would have a much bigger advantage in whip. Well, maybe not though, because then you have average stuff in PBABIP. So I'm just surprised that then hit type. Got it. I'm just surprised that movement is so bad at whip. And then for ERA, again, stuff number 1. Control last in ERA, which I guess makes sense because with control, you're preventing the least harmful thing, right? A walk, sure, it gives you a base runner, but unless your bases are loaded, it's not going to drive in a run. Um, Whereas everything else has the ability to drive in runs, especially home runs. And then for the strikeouts, I mean, this is probably just noise, but I do think it's interesting that control is slightly ahead of movement and PBABIT, but that's by 0.2 over 8, so that's that's hardly at all. It's not at all significant, but stuff clearly 2x everyone else. I'm just surprised that stuff is so much better at all these other things. It makes me wonder why that perfect team 24 Edwin Diaz was so crappy. Because it had crazy stuff, but again, that might go to D Block's point that the game engines are different. I keep focusing on being told the game engines are different but based on the same concepts. I think D Block's doing a good job of reminding us, yeah, but they're different. And so I keep glossing over that part, but I think D Block's making a good point there. If we go HRA control first, stuff third, and perfect team, which makes sense in the context of AWS assumptions. Oh, AWS assumptions. Yeah, so I would agree with that, Clay, except for the fact that you seem to get such a penalty in whip for the HRA. So I think what might make more sense too is when we do this, the next experiment I'm going to do is this, except in reverse. So each team is going to be terrible at one thing. So each team is going to be like 50 at control, or 50 at movement, or 50 at PBABIC, or 50 at stuff. And then I think we'll have the other side of the equation, and then I think we'll be able to make more concrete statements on. Right, Clayton, if you only have HR, that's right. That's right. But you have to pair it with control. That makes a lot of sense. Also, that's the other thing we do. Instead of just taking away one thing, we could try them in pairs. Because, there was not a big move towards stuff until pretty recently in the cycle. But this would say we should have been focused on stuff from the beginning. Um, But I think it also depends on like what card sets are out there, right? Because if your only high stuff pitchers are severely flawed in other ways, then it won't matter. Because these are all players that are average in every other way, except they are exceptional at stuff, um, or exceptional at whatever. That doesn't necessarily exist in perfect team. So I think we need to like do a few of these experiments, testing different things, and then we can kind of triangulate to some of the answers. But what I want to do is figure out what those experiments are so that when PT26 comes out, we know exactly what experiments to do in the beginning to kind of decipher what the new engine is doing. Clara says, I've been valuing stuff more modern attorneys too. Is definitely too low. And that you're, yeah. And Adam says, the lines of which attribute should be is certainly changing. League, it's like you want, I think, 120s now for stuff HRI control. Yeah, it was really interesting hearing everyone talk about the new cards today and how like among the perfect cards 117 is the like second worst control. And I'm playing iron tournaments where it's like, oh, 63 control, awesome. All right, let's give away some packs now. Let's see. And then Max, we're at pack giveaway, so you may want to start getting ready to go on your end. My back is starting to feel it too, so this is Max, I know this isn't a huge help to you. I know you had said previously that it actually helps you if I go longer, but I'm just not able to do it yet. Oh, oh yeah, let's give Max a shout out. I think everyone in here knows Max is probably already following Max, but let's give a shout out to Max. Max, by the way, I continue to be impressed. I think I keep seeing you. Yeah, I'm only passing kidney stones. Max, I think were you top 10 again, like in silver PTCS standings? Currently number two. Way to go! And I think you were pretty high in bronze too, if I'm not mistaken. Nerd. The best after Burlington. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Let's give away some packs. All right. Oh wait. Let me unhide the Twitch names here. All right. Here we go. All right. Which team will lead in strikeouts per nine? This is no surprise, and I'm glad everyone has clearly been paying attention to the stream, or just to perfect team or whatever you play, that stuff definitely drives strikeouts per nine. This is the really first interesting one, which will have the lowest whip. Unfortunately for Max and Kitty Poo Poo, Movement had by far the worst whip. So we know it's not whip. And but no one said stuff. So Control had the third best whip, but by process of elimination, it is Control that will move on to the next tiebreaker. Yeah, Claydog, thank goodness everyone was as wrong as you. That's right. So let's do some filters here. I might have guessed Control or P Babbitt. I definitely wouldn't have guessed stuff. All right, so we have a three-way tie now. We're going to break it for sure here. Which team will have the lowest ERA? All right, so Stuff had the lowest ERA. So we have our first winner is AW. Congratulations, AW. And then neither of the two are right. So then we go to the next tiebreaker. So if the AL and NL Cy Young Awards are from the same team, which team are they from? And it was Team Stuff, right? Yeah, they dominated. So D Block gets second place. Now, if we had not needed those, let's see where the numerical answers come in. Because I know Claydog is good at these. What will be the strikeouts per nine of the combined league leader in strikeouts per nine? I don't think we looked at that, did we? .356 strikeouts led the league, and 16.0. And D Block would have gotten that one. Actually, you know who excels at these also is Smiley Face Jane. Because a lot of these, the highest answer is right, because no one thinks to guess even higher. And for some reason, Smiley Face Jane is able to identify like the edge of the envelope and always guess out there. Okay, and then what will be the whip of the pitcher who leads the league in whip? And here are the guesses there. And the league leader comes in at .80. We had a guess very close to that. .87. So nailing both numerical guesses also D Block. So that's the thing from all these sim guessing games you learned from all the streamers. First and second. It's either much more absurd than you think or much more normal than you think. Now, I don't know if anyone has objections to the way I do this, but in this one, the tiebreaker is which team is it, right? And so it's the team that is. Then everyone else isn't. So there's no tie. There's no other tiebreaker here. You go to the next one. Now, some people could say, "Oh, but then it should be the next closest." I don't agree with that. I say if there are two stuffs, then they would both advance. There's only one stuff, so they win, and then the other two advance. Is how I do it. So, if I can try to articulate that in the form too, so it's more clear. But anyway, congratulations to our two winners tonight. Um, 7 packs to AW and 3 packs to D Block. Claydog's only injection is like AW and Smiley Face J and Enter. You know what though, Claydog? I was going back through because the easiest way for me to see who's won in the past is I just look at my Discord messages to Nicolino because he's the one who fulfills all the pack giveaways. And it's correct me if I'm wrong, Clay Dog. Have you been winning a bunch of second place 3 packs in this stream? It seems like most of the second places are Clay Dog. Like the first, yeah, the first keeps changing between like a few people. But like Clay Dog kept popping up. It's like Max lives in second place too. Max Clay Dog usually right outside the bubble and guessing everything else. So yeah, I think if you can try to remember what we learned tonight, because I think the next experiment is going to be when one of these is terrible, what happens? And I don't know if you can apply what we've learned here in reverse, but maybe we can. But that's going to be the next experiment. But if we can work out the scheduling and my residual kidney stone pain with Max and Clay Dog, we may have some rounds of create a roster to do first. Adub, I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not. You want me to keep doing pitching ones? I like these. I will keep doing them if you're not being sarcastic. And in fact, if you are being sarcastic, I might double down and do even more of them. Clay Dog should be free whenever. Okay. All right. Well, Max redeemed just ahead of you, so we'll ask Max first, and then. But Clay Dog, it's helpful to know that you're flexible. That doesn't mean you can't jump ahead of him. If he's not available, we can always fill you in first. Oh, Clay Dog also likes the picture because you don't know what the results will be. Yeah, I'm the same way. I like doing the ones where I'm not sure what's going to happen. I also really want to do this pitch around intentional walk thing. I don't know if the experiment will be designed the right way to find out what I'm trying to find out, but everybody, including me, seems to be taking blind faith in the fact that Mr. Black has said the AI doesn't screw this up, so you can crank it up. I just don't know if that's true. Clay Dog thinks pitch around higher is good from your experimentation. Like, well, okay, so I'm not going to be testing whether it's good or not. I'm going to be testing whether it pitches around anyone other than the one good hitter on the other team. Because if it does, then I'm saying it's not being managed properly the way Mr. Black says it is. And this is no shade at Mr. Black. Like I've been believing him with blind faith. I'm just doing this to question my own blind faith. Um, I've gained so much knowledge from following Mr. Black's stuff that like I mean no shade or disrespect to that dude. He seems to really know his stuff. Yeah, we'll see other results too from the same sim. Exactly. Okay, Max. Max is ready to go. I think we're done here. I've just started putting this back up at the end, so it's the last thing on the VOD. But yeah, congratulations to our winners. No one rated it today, so this is we just built this crew on our own tonight. Thank you all for being here. Again, I was totally worried that after a week, y'all might have forgotten to come check in to see if I was streaming at 10 p.m. Pacific time. So I really appreciate y'all being here, and mind blowing to get so many subs in one night. Really appreciate you all. Uh, D Block AW won first place, and uh, someone named D Block won second place. Clay Dog, hey, I'm glad I could stream too, but mostly I realized during all this, I thought I liked streaming because I liked the experiments in the streaming. I realized I like doing the streaming because it gives us all a place to hang out together. Um, I mean, the experiment gives us a good excuse to do it and to do the pack giveaways, but like the hang here is what I really like and what I miss the most. So, yeah, some dude named D Block. Congrats, D Block. All right, we're gonna send you over to Max, our number two PTCS qualifier in silver for the period. So coming up, we'll have what happens to pitchers if you take away one of these attributes, and then we'll have a couple of create a roster games with Max and Claydog. And Max, I'm probably gonna hang in there while I do some drafts, maybe while listening to OFI 2, and then I'm gonna bail because my back is starting to hurt again. But man, thanks for keeping my spirits up, y'all. It was super helpful to be able to hang out with y'all tonight. Number two, because he's smelly.